All right, you're very welcome back. It's Thursdays Off the Ball. Now, as you'll know, all week we have been partnering up with 20 by 20, and not just this week, all year. And we're not done just yet. We're looking to increase participation in women's sport, to increase attendance at women's sporting events, and also to promote more female athletes. Here on Off the Ball, we are committed to improving and continuing to improve our coverage of women's sport over the coming years. As part of all this, if you go onto our social channels, you will see our presenters, myself included, have made their pledge, and we're encouraging you at home to make your pledge as well. You just use the hashtag Show Your Stripes. You can go on Twitter, Instagram, and just use that hashtag, and you'll see all the other pledges that are up there from lots of sports people around the country. You can make your pledge to either participate, attend, or to promote women's sporting events. Now, as I mentioned on Off the Ball, we're very much committed to improving our coverage of women's sporting events. I think a lot of the pledges are based around attending more female sporting events. We haven't done a huge amount on the participation angle, but we're going to change that now, because I'm joined in studio by Rebecca McMahon. How are you keeping?
Good.
15 years of age, Ireland under-16 international. Not bad going. And you're joined by your dad as well, Ciaran McMahon, who involved with Shamrock Rovers and well known, I think, for anyone who's watching. You're very much a key part of that TV programme, The Zoo.
Yes, part of The Zoo, yeah.
But you're
very
here,
enjoyable.
You're here to talk football tonight. Rebecca, your story then, and how you've become a full international at under-16 level for Ireland. When did you start playing?
I started playing when I was around 5 or 6 years old with my local team.
And was that a natural thing? Had you always a bit of an interest?
Yeah, like my brother played, so I always seen him going out to his matches, so it was something like I always wanted to do.
And would you have had a bit of a kickabout with him?
Yeah, always out the back together.
And when you went out when you were 5, 6 and you were looking to join your local team, was there a girls' team or did you go in with the lads?
No, there was no girls' team in my local, around my area, so I joined an all-boys team.
How was that?
It was okay. It was pretty hard to kind of be picked for teams. Being the only girl was kind of hard because they probably, most teams didn't think I was going to be able to handle the boys. So, being chosen was pretty hard.
So you were the only girl for a large part of it? Yeah,
a good few years. I was the only girl till I joined an all-girls team. And
would you have known many of the lads? Did you go to school with them?
My cousin kind of played, so I would have known him, and over time I kind of got to know the boys. I made friends with them. So
it's always a debate about youngsters and what age it should get serious and what age it should get competitive. Those first few years when you went in, was it very relaxed? Was it just everybody get together, have a bit of a kick around?
Yeah, it was all about kind of fun at that stage and kind of just improving your own skill, and it was all just a bit of fun at the start. Yeah.
And were the coaches happy to have you there?
At the start they were, and then it kind of got more competitive, and then that's where it kind of started, not being able to play, and always the boys would always pick kind of first because.
Right. What age were you about?
I was say around 9 or 10.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
That there's people even being picked first at that age. That it's not just a natural thing where everybody's getting the same amount of game time. So would you have found when it came to games that the lads would get picked and you'd end up being left on the sideline?
I'd be lucky if I kind of got 10 or 15 minutes at a match. It would always be the boys first.
And this is only 5, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
For some reason I would have thought that because of the protocols that are put in place, the recommendations that are put in place, that it's all about just having a bit of fun, just getting out there.
You'd think that, but
was it pretty demoralising?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, it's not great for your confidence, to be honest, not being played just because you're a girl,
You must have had something good within you that you kept going back, though.
Yeah,
Had your burning desire to play?
Yeah, I love football, so I was never going to quit. I always wanted to do it.
Your dad, Ciaran, you brought her along?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We followed her all the way along from the early days of playing. She's a good few years into it now. I had a boy playing, Craig. He would play football for many, many years, so it was always a natural progression for me to go with Craig. And, if Rebecca was playing football, Mum would go with Rebecca. Yeah. Well, that has changed over the years now because, women's sport has changed and the equal opportunities are there for it. So I go with Rebecca all the time now because I'm heavily involved in it.
Were you aware of what was going on when Rebecca was 9, 10 and she's been left on the sideline?
I went to a lot of Rebecca's games where I would see that. Now, it doesn't happen in all teams, but certainly in some of them, where she would be left there. The team, as you said yourself, the team would be picked. It wasn't just about inclusion. And the team would pick Rebecca, be standing there, then maybe 5 minutes from the end, they'd remember, when we have a girl here, Rebecca, we better just put her on.
Yeah, token gesture.
Token gesture.
You can't say she's not getting any game time.
No, absolutely. So that's the way it started. But, you know, that's changing with the girls' game now, you know, all female teams, which is, I know a lot of the girls do play with boys' teams up to Pacific age, which is good for the development as well. Very good for the development, and that's to be, you know.
Well, it's only good for the development if they're being treated equally when they're playing.
With the girls now, like the Metropolitan Leagues now, the number of teams in Dublin and outside of Dublin, it really is coming to the fore now, female football. So that is changing that perception that, you know, it's only boys that play soccer or only boys that play GAA or swimming. That's going now, and that's what we need to promote more.
Do you look back now and think, and look how well Rebecca's done as representing her country, that like we all do it, and like it's part of the aim of 20 by 20 that naturally you went with your son to the matches?
Yes.
Well, actually, and I don't know what level your son is playing to, but like the talent.
Yes, absolutely. It's just that natural, it's that kind of ingrained bias that we have, that fathers go with sons because they're playing soccer or they're playing GAA, and girls do different sports or do different things in their early days. But as I said, it's great for me to have seen both sides of that coin. I've seen it with Craig, now I've seen it with Rebecca, and the opportunities that are opening up for our female athletes. And, you know, the more promotion we can do of that, the better it will be going forward. And as the 20 by 20 campaign has shown, we still have a lot more work to do with that.
Were there people at that age around to encourage you to keep going, or was it just that desire that you had within yourself? Like, were there people along the way who said, actually, you know, you're doing the right thing, stick with this?
Yeah, like there was a few, like some of the boys on my team were really nice, and they told me to keep going. The manager, not so much, but obviously I had my mum and my dad and like my friends around just telling me to keep going because it's what I wanted to do. Like, it made me happy, so that obviously I was just going to keep playing. When
did you realise you were good?
Available.
Well, when I joined a girls' team, I like had so much more opportunities, and it's kind of where I kind of like found my love again for like football. Like the spark just kind of like reunite. Like,
what age were you?
I was say 11 or 12.
Yeah. Very lucky. Rebecca came into an all-girls team in Kilnamanagh. Yeah, and a fabulous coach there. Fabulous coaches there. Sean Kelly, one in particular, just seen something in Rebecca and has been our coach ever since.
Yeah. All
through her Peamount days, and now with Shamrock Rovers, he's still there. He's still the coach. So, you know, it's about volunteers. The amount of volunteers that run these situations every night of the week, Saturday, Sunday, and that's what has got Rebecca to where she's been. That encouragement, that belief, you know.
Yeah.
The ambition when you were starting out then, because like when I go up watching my kids up to Parkvale, and every player has Salah or Messi on the back of their jersey, and they all can't quite get their heads around why there aren't scouts coming to the matches already so they can sign for Liverpool or Manchester United. The role model side of things, like who were your role models? Well,
when I was younger, there wasn't a lot of like female like sports stars out there to look up to, so that was kind of like a hard thing to think about. But over the last few years, obviously there's been a lot more introduced and more coverage, like people get to see more people. So I'd say probably the likes of like Katie McCabe, like Louise Quinn, all the girls that play for the senior team, I think they're like huge inspirations to me and like people I look up to.
Did you think you could be a professional footballer? Or when did you start to think you could be a professional footballer?
Well, obviously when I joined the girls team, like I was always encouraged like that I could keep going. If I kept going, like this is what I could achieve and all, and that's where I kind of think like maybe it is possible. Like
there's a lot more opportunities now, but there's still a lot of challenges, and you're playing under 15s, under 16s, you're involved with the international team. Are you looking around at the lads 15s, 16s teams thinking we're not quite at that level still, that there's still an attitude within Irish football that the men's football is a priority?
Yeah, I still think there is. Obviously we are getting better, but I do still think there is that bit of like still think about that the boys are more ahead of us and that they should be given more stuff, and that like people talk about boys football more than they talk about girls football. Not just football, but every sport. I think when we think about sport, we automatically think of boys, and I think we are slowly changing, but I think there's so much change still to happen for it to get to where the boys are at the minute.
It does feel like there is a real change happening, particularly around soccer and the success of the World Cup last year, and suddenly there are those role models. And even, I know you're going to Tala after this tonight, where you're getting over 5,000 people to a senior international match, that like it's come so far in the space of a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can get
Somebody
so
your
much
age,
more.
where it could be when you're 26, 27, must be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. Like, even for the younger kids coming up, like, they have so much more opportunities than maybe 5 years they would have 5 years ago they would have had, and like, it's real special that there's more chances for them.
Yeah. From your point of view, Ciaran, then, and I know you're involved in the running of the team and that, and you've gone in with Shamrock Rovers now. Where do you see underage football for girls at the moment? Is it in a good place, or is there a lot more that needs to be done?
Yeah, it's in a good place. As I said, there's a lot of people working on it. With the changes now with the governing bodies, you'd hope that it'll get more airtime, more financial support. I suppose it's really about development at different stages, that grassroots level. Not everybody is going to become an elite footballer. So we've really got to look at where it begins. The child in the academy at 5 years of age. It doesn't need to be competitive. Does it need to be competitive when they're 10 years of age? Probably not. It's about learning the game. It's about, friendships. It's about, wellness of their mental wellness. It's all about inclusion. And then it can start getting that little bit. It is changing. I do see it going forward. I'd be very happy to see more change. As Tala tonight will be a great occasion again for our women's national team. And if we get 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 people, then we know we're going in the right direction. But again, small changes, that's what we've had. But the 20 by 20 campaign, we really need people, as you said at the beginning, to pledge, what was said at the beginning, and try and get it out there.
What's it like watching your daughter play for Ireland?
Yeah, it's a very special moment. Myself and my wife travelled to Spain last year to watch them, the Irish team, great group of girls. Won the Bob Doherty, won the John Reid, and the teams prior to them had done it the year before, so a shout out to the 15s this year. They're going for the treble and that, so yeah, great. And then to see her working hard to progress to the next level is, you may not get there, you've just got to keep going, and there's a lot ahead of her, so she works hard. So, and as a lot of the girls that we look after do.
You've obviously faced a lot of challenges then to get to where you are and to get playing for Ireland. And I know one of the things you spoke about in part of your work with 20 by 20 was an attitude of, it's easy to get in the girls' team.
Yeah.
Is that still there?
I think it really is, to be honest. Like, even like boys just being like, oh, it's easier for you, less people, you aren't as good. Like, it's easier to get onto stuff than, like, if we were trying to get onto the same things you are, like that. It feels like sometimes our achievements are like diminished a lot.
How do we change that?
I think it's all about attitude, like even being educated more about it, that it's okay, like it's good for girls to play as well, and that their achievements aren't any less than if a boy done the same as a girl.
A lot of it comes down as well, because this 20 by 20, there's another 9 months to go in this year. A lot of it was surely going to come down to how the governing bodies now continue this and how the FAI approach the women's game in this country. And the FAI has been through all manner of difficulties, but there's a real opportunity, I feel, to get that depth there, that actually putting in place procedures that there are under 7, under 8s, that every club has to treat every team the exact same. And by the time you get to probably the peak of your career in 10 years, like the amount of players who should be coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good point. The amount of talent that you see coming through in the females, say, soccer side of things, it's probably happening in all sports at female level. It is very important for the governing bodies to embrace that, to enhance that. And, as we said earlier on, what boys achieve through even, a club level or international level, it should be the same across the board. There should be no bias that, female one side, boys or men the other side. It should be just an even playing field. And hopefully we're going that way, but it's, again, the promotion of the 20 by 20 really is critical. There's 7 months left, and we really have to get a 20% extra attendance, 20% extra participation, and we've really got to get there with it,
What's next then, Rebecca? What's the ambition to continue your footballing career?
Yeah, hopefully continue for as long as I can, hopefully play senior one day and just play as top level as I can.
All right, well, very best of luck with all that.
Thank
We'll
you.
keep a close eye on your progress. Rebecca, thanks for coming in. Ciaran, you too.
Thank you so much, thank you.
We are, of course, partnering up with 20 by 20 over the past year, looking to increase participation in women's sport, to increase attendance at women's sporting events, and also to promote more female athletes. And as I mentioned, you'll see on all our social channels that our presenters have been making their pledge and encouraging you to use the hashtag #ShowYourStripes and make your pledge to either participate, attend, or to promote women's sporting events.